So before we do Abhidhamma, okay, before we do Visuddhimagga, so later I need to discuss something about the topic about Visuddhimagga and Vipassana. Right, so we start with Namo Tassa. Okay. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Okay, now we come to this topic. So after you learn the Visuddhimagga, especially previous lesson on the soil, on the understanding, you notice that there are lots of information. Okay, there are lots of information. The question is, how how much do we need to learn? All the details, like how much do we need to learn Abhidhamma before we go for Vipassana? Have you asked yourself this question? How many things do you really need to know? How many, like all the 89 chittas, 52 mental factors, 28 rupas, materials, and a lot of different types of mind, different stages of mind. So how many of you really have considered this question? So,
Yes, yes, I
all right.
did. There are like
Okay.
so many things to remember, and it seems
Okay.
like so technical.
For Abhidhamma, right? Okay.
Yeah,
All right. So do you think that you need to learn all the Abhidhamma before you can practice well? That's a
I
question.
don't think so.
You don't think so, all right?
I don't think
To
so.
what extent do you think that you need to learn?
I think as you practice, you learn.
Okay, good. That's very good. As you practice, you
You keep
learn some
on,
more.
you learn on, and then you will see that it's applicable to you.
Okay, okay, yeah. So it's like yeah, I give a simile. I think most of you be able to cook, right? So you will not be able to learn all types of cooking, right? So minimally there will be simple thing. You at least you need to know how to fried rice, fried noodles, or maybe how to cook porridge, or how to make some simple vegetable. That's enough. But when you want to have another taste, maybe later you learn to cook the chicken curry or whatever. But for survival, rice, porridge, noodles are enough for you to live day to day. All right. So how much you need to study? Minimally, you need to know mind and matter, or something about five aggregates, or six sense basis and six sense objects. That's enough for your vipassana practice and enough for you to understand certain things about Abhidhamma, but not really need to learn all. Because, and also there's a discussion about like Mahasi and Pa'al. Uh, I'm not so sure for your generation, but during the last about 30 years ago, there's always some argument about Pa'al and Mahasi. So which one is the best method? Brother Ong, you should know, right? Brother Ong?
I started off with Masi. You are knowing anything, just read the books and when. So now
Okay, so
after attending your course, I think you
mm,
don't need very much knowledge. I see you compare the Thai forest masters, they hardly know anything. They just practice only.
right, yeah.
They
But
develop very deep samatha. That's all. The
yes,
Thai tradition is deep samatha. Budu, budu,
yeah,
budu, samatha all the way. I
okay,
think it's one approach you can go along. But when you go to
yes,
Masi, I think maybe the Sayadaws that came across were not very good in English and they couldn't explain very well. So we were almost like in order no, just simply do only. And now with your
right,
explanation, I think I get a better idea of the whole thing. Just we
mm,
know a bit, as you say, a bit only enough to go already. Practice
cukup lah. Okay.
and
All right.
compare.
There's also another thing is when you go for Pa'ao Center, they always emphasize that you must get very deep jhana, fourth jhana, and also you must know Abhidhamma. In fact, who really study Abhidhamma? Those in to do with Pa'ao tradition. They really go very detailed because they are supposed to see all these very final things, small things, small cetasika in their meditation, as far as I know. Yeah, because I did go there for just for experiment or to learn, but I didn't really follow it because I also more on the Mahasi method or Vipassana method. All right. Okay, so what we do is I was thinking about this question, all right, because now we come to this Visuddhimagga and inside have lots of Abhidhamma point. And the fact if I'm going to teach all the Abhidhamma, first is there will not be enough time. We cannot even finish in maybe in 5 years, right? So I was looking all these Abhidhamma. I was thinking, asking myself, why do I need to teach all these Abhidhamma point, right? Because if this is not a Abhidhamma course, this is a Visuddhimagga course. This is on the Vipassana or how do you supposed to meditate using the Visuddhimagga as a base, you know? Then I was thinking about this question from yesterday and then today. Then today I was going to the website, internet to look some question about what is a Vipassana and what is Abhidhamma, what is difference between them and what is their relationship. So I did find some, I think, good answer from certain side. Okay, let me share the screen. All right. Okay. Now, all right. Now we're on lesson 14. Okay. So we are still on this about understanding. So there's a question here. What is the difference between Abhidhamma viewpoint and Vipassana viewpoint? So if people ask you, what is Abhidhamma viewpoint? Do you know that? And what is Vipassana viewpoint? Do you know that? All right. Okay. Now, okay, we try to fill in some answers so then we are clear in our mind. Okay, we can ask. Now, I think Brother Ko, you follow some Abhidhamma, right? Can you tell us what is Abhidhamma viewpoint?
From what perspective is
Okay,
Saji talking
maybe
about?
let's say Abhidhamma perspective, viewpoint or perspective. Okay, viewpoint is, okay, how will you say this?
I think we emphasize a lot on the supramundane.
Supramundane.
Of course,
Okay.
they have concept, but the concept is more of ancillary to support why
All right.
The supramundane is crucial to understand the Dharma and to attain realization.
Okay. So you would think that is you talk about concept, you also talk about supramundane things.
Yeah, but
Right.
more of
Then,
supramundane rather than concept. But concept they do have but not much.
what do you mean by supramundane thing? Is it the
The
Chitta
ultimate
Chittasika?
reality.
Or then we don't call this is a supramundane. Supramundane means enlightenment.
Yeah, but these are the basics that will lead to.
Then you use the word ultimate truth.
Okay, ultimate truth.
Okay, because if you talk about supramundane,
okay.
I was thinking why you talk about Magga Pala.
Okay.
There's another level.
Yeah, there's
Right.
another level.
Okay. All right. So
Okay.
you're talking about more on the ultimate Paramata. Yes. Okay. So sometimes the terms ultimate truth and also as concept. All right. Okay. Now, according to what you know, what is Vipassana viewpoint?
Actually, Vipassana, as I understand, but I haven't gone in, is also inside, but it's more of I think experiential insight or experiential knowledge.
Okay, experiential. Yeah, I like this one. Experiential knowledge or learning. You use the word learning.
Yeah,
Okay.
learning, then it only proceed to knowledge.
Learning towards
knowledge.
And gaining knowledge. Okay, gaining knowledge. All right. Okay. Okay. Now we have some. So we need to know this because if not, we get so we don't know how much do we need to learn. Okay. Now Abhidhamma perspective is about ultimate truth and concept. Vipassana is about especially learning and gaining knowledge. Now, okay. Now we know about this difference and what are their similarities. So we can talk about differences and similarity. Are they has some similar point? Okay, anybody can try?
Yes, both are also talking about knowledge. Because
knowledge.
Abhidhamma also needs the knowledge. That's how the purification comes about.
Okay, good
Without
point.
knowledge,
So
you can't purify.
these two discuss on knowledge, all right? Okay, good. All right.
But what Abhidhamma highlight is that there is this upakilesa,
Upakilesa, defilements.
The defilements, but these are very subtle defilements.
Yeah, Vipassana also got this point.
Yeah, but the thing is that a lot of Vipassana meditators may not be aware about it without that knowledge, and they get caught into it because it's so subtle that that could be a trap.
The Upaglesa knowledge appear when somebody is in the middle of Vipassana.
Yeah.
It's not at the beginning, right?
Okay.
But normally, even in Abhidhamma, will not discuss so soon because that is under the, I call it say, the later chapter. The earlier chapter will be on Chitta, Cetasika, Rupa. Okay. All right. Thanks, Brother Ko. Right. So yeah, next person. So anybody want to comment about this? So we are kind of like trying to gather whatever information we have learned from this course and try to see how we going to proceed further. Right. So now we know what is the difference between Abhidhamma and Vipassana, and we know that they have some similarity because they discuss on knowledge. And anybody want to add in some more point?
Can I say
Yes.
that both Abhidhamma and Vipassana will eventually, will
Yeah, yeah.
eventually lead you to seeing things as they really are.
Okay. So seeing the truth, right?
Okay.
So
Realization of
these
the true
two
nature of
leads
things.
to the realization of the truth. Okay. Now, when we talk about the truth, what kind of truth? That's the question. No? When you
Yeah.
how about the Vipassana? So we must practice to see the truth. Then the question is, what is the truth? Right?
The nature of phenomena.
Ultimate truth.
Ultimate truth. Okay. All right. So what is ultimate truth? Like what?
Impermanence,
Yeah, impermanence, suffering, non-self.
suffering, and
Okay.
non-self.
Okay. So all right. So we're talking about the
Three
like
characteristics.
the three universal characteristic. Yeah. Okay. And what else beside this? Also four
See things as they are.
noble truth. That's very
Four
important,
noble
you know.
truth.
Yes, because if somebody want to gain enlightenment, they must see the four noble truth. Because the third truth is the nibbana. All right. So the ultimate purpose for anybody who practice Theravada Buddhism is to reach enlightenment, either in this life or next life. Okay, so now we have this one. So okay, let me show you the answer that I saw. I was searching on this point. This is also interesting, okay? Takes Abhidhamma as its sole object of contemplation. So Vipassana and Abhidhamma cannot be separated. And while it may not be said that one can practice Vipassana only after one has mastered the Abhidhamma, Vipassana meditation and the study of Abhidhamma remain one and the same thing. So he's talking about these two are same. So this one is coming from one of the teacher. So there can be no Vipassana without an understanding of mind and matter. And surely then there is not possible to separate Abhidhamma and Vipassana. Okay, you can get from this website. Okay. In Vipassana meditation, we observe our mental states and emotions free from judgment in order to get to know them. Okay. In Abhidhamma, we analyze them individually. Okay. So from here, okay, there's some more down there. All right. So from the first one, we know that Vipassana take Abhidhamma. This means they take all the like 89 chittas, 52 cetasika, and so on as the object of contemplation. So you can say these are quite same. Vipassana is to know it. Abhidhamma will be analyzed individually. Okay. Knowledge of Abhidhamma can lead to more clearness in Vipassana practice. That's true. So sometimes you hear about like all these for foundation of mindfulness, like the mind, the mental factors, and so on. But when you know Abhidhamma in detail, then you know what are they, because you can see more clearly. Okay, and we learn to understand and what we directly experience with Vipassana. And because we know what and where the right way is, okay, right way, so it's a right view, right way, and what to practice, what to pay attention, we will not lose our way or succumb to deceptions and illusions so easily. So Abhidhamma knowledge combined with the Vipassana insight leads to wisdom and therefore to liberation through wisdom. Okay, so I think this is same with the previous paragraph. Yeah, okay, yeah, this one is same. These two are same. Okay, so you can see they are helping each other. All right. I like this one. Knowledge or Abhidhamma can lead to more clearness in Vipassana practice. Because when you know the 89 Chitta, 52 Cetasika, 28 Rupa very clearly, so you know how to practice them even more clearly. Okay, so later I will share with you all. Okay, now, so we already discussed on this. And the question about this one, we just briefly discussed, do we have to know all Abhidhamma facts before starting on Vipassana meditation? So the answer is yes or no? Yes or no? No, right? Because why? Because what? If you say no, why?
Example, some monks don't even know Abhidhamma, they still realize.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So the answer is no. Okay, so because what? How should we write this sentence, Brother Ong? What you say? Because one, you say some monks gain realization.
Yeah. Got so many examples are Sun Lun Sayadaw, then got the five
even
followers.
without Abhidhamma
so many
knowledge.
uneducated monks who gain enlightenment.
For example, the Sun Lun Sayadaw. Yeah, it's true. Sun Lun Sayadaw, he's just a farmer. He never even, he's a, how you call it? He does not know letter at all. What? Illiterate, yeah. Sun Lun Sayadaw.
Illiterate, yeah.
Okay. After becoming an Arahant, Anagami, you say that he became Anagami or Arahant. Anagami or Arahant, okay? Then he started be able to preach the Dhamma, right? Okay. All right, there's a first answer. And then second answer is, we learn, we practice, and we learn more, okay? It's like theory and practice come together. So theory and practice come together. So we learn, we practice more, and then when we practice, we learn more, right? That's the two. So if you say yes, then you have no time to practice because you have to learn everything. Now we are talking about soil or understanding. So we have 5 aggregates, 28 matters, feeling is 1, perception is 1, formation is 50, consciousness is 89, and 51 to 1. So if you combine all 28 plus 52, we call it Cetasika, and then the 80 Chitta. So you got 169 things to learn. Okay, if you have the 28 Rupa, okay, and if you calculate 28 Rupa with 52 Cetasika and 121 consciousness Chittas, you will have 201 things to learn before practicing meditation. Okay, so there are a lot. So what we do is, first step for us to learn is, okay, you must clearly know Nama Rupa. That's the first step that you should learn. And then second step we should learn is know the 5 aggregates. Okay, this is the second thing that we should learn, 5 aggregates. So when you learn, you must know this is 28. Of course, all these are number, but minimum you must know the characteristic. Characteristic means that something is very obvious to see. Okay, for example, the materiality is use the word rupana, being changed by the external condition like hot and cold and so on. And feeling, characteristic of being felt. Perception, perceiving. Formation is a forming. And then consciousness is a cognizing, or just the simple terms, you can use it as it knows things, all right? Like it know the sound, know the smell, and so on. Now, this 28. So we can just briefly look at the Abhidhamma book, right? Since we will study it. Now we have 28 here. So out of this 28, how many things that do you think that we should know when we practice Vipassana? All right. So anybody? Which one you think that we should know? All right. So yeah, we should know the this color. Earth element, yeah. So
Essential.
okay, this great essential. Okay, and what else? So this one also, yeah. When you see something, you hear something, we should know. This one, when the object, when the object come to the mind, the sound, the smell, the taste, we should know also. How about this one? Do you need to know? Sexual phenomena. Do we need to know, yes or no, in meditation? I think no need, right? Because we are studying about mind, matter, nama, rupa. So we don't need to care about whether it's a male characteristic or female characteristic in our own body. So heart base, we also cannot see, right? And then this one, also life faculty, we know that everything is life faculty will carry the material, so it will make it stay alive. This one we also cannot see. But this one, if you want to contemplate how the food go inside the body, like we do the perception on the nutriment, you can practice this one. This one you cannot see unless you practice to see the kalapa. And this one is normal thing when, for example, how your body moving and how about your vocal, like I'm talking now. All right, so this talking, this one. This one is talking about impermanent. You can take it as this one as anicca. All right, how the things are very difficult to write. Okay, anicca, how things are changing. So all these are, you can see impermanence, anicca also, decay. So anything to do with material, when you can see your body getting decay, impermanence, aging, you can take it as characteristic of matter. Right? So out of this, we cannot contemplate all, right? Unless you go very deep jhana, then you can see all. Okay. So okay. So out of this one, which one we can see is maybe our sense basis and object we can see, and maybe some of the impermanence, aging. All right. So the feeling, okay, now we go back to this one. So we go back to our Visuddhimagga. So when we come to this feeling, now here actually when you study here, that's why for you to study Visuddhimagga, by right actually, if you want to go very detailed, you have to learn Abhidhamma, because everything here is very detailed from Abhidhamma point. So yeah. So I will skip it because when you study the intermediate Abhidhamma, you need to go very detailed. For basic, no. Right? Okay, I copy already state. You can see here. Feeling. Okay, this one already finished. And now it talk about the consciousness. Yeah. Okay. Okay, now we go for this one. Okay, 1 to 9. All right. The main thing is characteristic of perceiving. Okay, somebody read this one. I think this part is important. Okay, somebody. Okay, Doris, can you read this one? Doris Ko. Yeah.
Okay, Sayaji. Now 130, is it?
Yes.
But though classed in the same way as consciousness, nevertheless, as to the characteristic, etc., it all has just the characteristic of perceiving. Its function is to make a sign as a condition for perceiving again that this is the same, as carpenters, etc., do in the case of timber and so on. it is manifested as the action of interpreting by means of the sign as apprehended, like the blind who see an elephant. Its proximate cause is an objective field in whatever way that appears, like the perception that arises in fawns that were scarecrows as men, that sees scarecrows as men. What is this about? This is a section of the detailed explanation dealing with the perception aggregate.
Okay, thank you. All right. So anyway, when you study anything, remember we have 4 ways. So we have the characteristic, manifestation,
Yep.
and then the proximate cause. Wait, there's another one. So copy this one first. Okay, so this will give you a good, because when something take out, we are talking about we have 52 cetasika. So out of the 52 cetasika, right? So you have the 50 plus 1 feeling and 1 perception. So why the feeling and perception are taken out? Because they are important for us to maintain, right? So that's why we analyze about the perception, right? So this is talking about perception. Okay. Now we have the characteristic is the perceiving. Function, now function is something that more active. So when we say function, we make a sign, all right? So when you see somebody, you make a sign. For example, you see a man or woman for the first time, you make a sign in your mind. So when you see that person, you know, oh, this is the same man or same woman that you saw before, like a carpenter. They make a mark on before cutting. Now, manifestation. All right. The action of interpreting. All right. So, right. And then another proximate cause. Proximate cause means that what is the cause? Is something appear, the object appear. All right. When the object appear, then you have the perception. So the object must come first. After the perception happen later. Okay. Now we talk about this action of interpreting. All right. So anybody, are you able to understand this statement? The manifestation is manifested as the action of interpreting. What's the meaning of interpreting here? Interpret what? So sometimes when you read this context, have to think for a while. Okay.
Initially, I can't understand, but after sometimes I realize that this is what they call recalling, remembering.
Okay. All right. So actually recalling will be more on function. When you recall the same thing again, all right? How about this manifestation? Interpret. What's the meaning of interpret? Interpret what? Now the example given, like the blind who see an elephant. You know the story, right?
Identify.
You know the story? Yes. Identify as what? What do you identify?
Identify to the earlier sign that you have already
Okay.
kept in mind.
Okay, for example, we see the object, all right? Then it start to make a mark, all right? Make a mark. Okay, make a mark. Okay. Let's say the object is let's say from far he see a dog. Okay. Now when we talk about dog, what is the dog? Dog means it's a being with four legs. Okay. Moving horizontally and be big nose. Yeah. Okay. So he make a sign in the mind as a dog. Okay. As this is a dog. Okay. Now, how does it manifest in the mind? Manifestation. All right. So how does it manifest?
With more detail, Saji, detail features.
Like what?
With the
What
tail,
kind of detail?
with the wagging tail. Besides the main thing, the body and the four
Okay.
legs. So
Okay.
more greater detail, the features.
Okay, so features is also quite possible, this one. Okay. Features means you see the what? The tail,
Yeah, the face, the
the
nose,
way
the
they move,
eyes, the
the way they
ear.
move, the way
Yeah.
of moving. Yeah. Yeah. So this means that first you see the object, four legs moving horizontally, and then it had the big nose. Because if you say four legs, it can be a cat, right? But the cat will not have the big nose. The dog will have big nose. Then you make a mark in your mind. Oh, this is a dog. So next time when you see a dog, you know. So how does it manifest? It means that how you interpret it. For example, you know the story here, the bride, when the king bring many bride to see the elephant. Some will say that the elephant look like what a wall. Some they say look like a broom. Okay. Some they say look like what trunk or something, a pillar. Remember the story? So that's an interpretation. Those bride. So it's how we manifest it in our mind. It's a dog. It's the dog with the way it move and so on. Okay. So that's how we do the perception. Right. So manifestation is like appear obvious to us. So we can use the word. What's the meaning of manifestation? It's like appearing obvious in our mind. How it appears the dog compared to others. So that's why perception is very important. Okay, let's see when you see a flower. Okay, the object is flower. So you mark it as a flower. Okay, now what is flower? How do you see the flower? Flower means it's a colorful. Okay, normally color is colorful. So maybe sweet smell. So you make it mark. So how does it manifest? It manifests as, so manifest means how do we see it? We see it as a small things, maybe a cute things, okay? Or we manifest as a likable thing. I would say likable also. Okay. So that's why perception is important. Okay, let's say if we see somebody we don't like, okay. So maybe we see a person. Okay. So if the person we don't like, so we make a mark. We mark it as enemy. All right. So every time you see that person, you get angry. So the manifestation is a not good object. So that's how it appears to our mind. All right. Okay. So you can think about how. That's why perception is something that requires some thinking. It's not easy to understand compared to the feeling. All right. Feeling is very easy. Feeling is either good feeling, okay, maybe pleasant feeling, unpleasant, and neutral. Okay, neutral feeling. So perception is something that needs some time to think about it. All right. Okay. Now formation actually is easy because there are 50 things. Okay. So for formation, we need to look at the Cetasika. So let's go for this Bhikkhu Bodhi book. So yeah, chapter 2. Okay.
Perception, I
So
think, is the memory lah.
yeah, it's a how it appear to us
I think
as a, that's why I say mark
first,
it in the mind.
first I think the mind will take a few characteristics, a few features lah, maybe half a dozen, and then you quickly, when you see object, you quickly mark one or two objects, and you form an opinion, compare your memory, then you say it is that object.
Yes.
The
In a way, you memorize
classic,
it.
the classic case
So
is
we call it
the
act as memory. In a way,
yeah
you call it act as memory because it record,
yeah.
or we
So
call
the
it act
classic
as a
case is the
record.
case
Yeah.
of the rope in the past. You see a rope, you think it's a snake at night lah. When cannot see clearly because you see one object only. You see one feature, the long line only.
Yeah. That's how we perceive things, good or bad. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, it's like we will say it acts as a memory or record. So when we see the same person again, you will say, oh, this is the person I see before. But if the person he changed a hairstyle and so on, sometimes we will not be able to remember that person. So when you have few dogs, my center, I got how many? 4 dots for all black color. So it take long time to remember them because they all have the same color. Now we had 3 dots and then give birth to another 4 dots. So we have 7 dots, all black color, same color. Okay, now formation 50. So let's go for this one. Okay, now we have 50 here means that it minus the feeling. Okay, number 2. So you minus the perception and minus the feeling. Out of these 2 minus, so you only remaining 50. So out of this 50, so which one should we meditate on? So which one do you think is obvious, will appear to you when you are in meditation? Okay, so any answer? Yeah.
Contact.
Okay. Contact.
Mm.
All right. Okay. You think this is obvious? Okay. What else?
The other one,
Feeling.
restlessness. Number 17.
Restlessness. Okay. Yes. Meng Se, you want to say something?
Feeling.
Feeling is not
Feeling.
here. It's
Oh,
not
feeling.
here.
Oh, okay, because
It's
it's out
50.
of
Yeah, it's out of this formation.
Mm.
All right.
Energy.
Energy. Okay.
Number 11.
Yeah, energy. So you can see the contact when you hear the sound. When you feel that you have energetic, when you're walking meditation, you can feel the energy. What else? That you'll be able to see in your meditation before.
Attention, I think, very important.
Okay, attention. You
You
pay
don't
the
pay attention, you
attention.
don't notice anything.
All right. Yeah, attention. Okay, what else? Are you able to see initial application, sustained application? Anybody? Vitaka and Vichara. Maybe no, right?
Sometimes can see you need the sustained application. Otherwise,
Yeah,
your
yeah.
mind wanders.
Yeah. For example,
Mm.
if you're noting the abdomen rising, falling, first you need to look for the object. We call it the initial application. Then
Yeah.
keep the mind on the abdomen rising, falling. So you got initial application and sustained application. Right? Yeah. So sometimes when you're happy, you got just. Just means pity, means happy or joy. So if you got desire, you would have this one. All right. But I think unwholesome thing is even easy to remember, right? Sometimes you got a greedy mind. Sometimes you got conceit. For example, you think that you understand better than other. Sometimes when you get anger, you have hatred. You got jealousy. This one is a number 23 is stinginess, avarice. Sometimes when you have worry, and last one is even easier. You feel sleepy, sloth and torpor. Okay. I think most of the time we can see this. Beautiful one will be faith, mindfulness. This one, if you have a good mind, this one, all these are possible. All right. And you got the compassion, joy, or wisdom. Actually, most of them will be able to see in meditation, except which one you cannot see. So anybody can have a guess which one you cannot really see. Try. I would say the more difficult one. So I will change another color.
Delusion.
Yeah, delusion. Why you cannot see? Because when the delusion cover your mind, you cannot even see. Delusion is very difficult to see, but it's inside that's why it's called universal, because it's inside all the unwholesome consciousnesses. All right. So this one is very difficult to see. What else beside this? There's also another one. Butterco.
Life faculty also cannot see. Right?
Yeah, but we be able
Reply
to
only,
understand the logic. The mind exists because of life faculty. I mean,
Yeah.
of course lah, logic, right? But there's
Ah.
another one you also cannot see sometimes. More difficult. Same like delusion, I would say. Anybody can guess?
Actually, wrong view, sometimes you can
Right.
you can
Yes, this is the one, wrong view. Because, for example, wrong view on this I. Okay, you all heard about Abhidhamma. There's no I, there's no self, but the wrong view is there all the time. You cannot see yourself in the wrong view. It's only when somebody becomes the first stage of enlightenment, he be able to eradicate this wrong view. So delusion and wrong view is not easy to see because it's covered the mind totally. All right. So this means that this one. Okay.
But Sayagyi,
Yeah.
the wrong view has different level. So
Yeah.
because at my stage now, I can see certain viewpoint which I feel that is not right. And that is because through learning, is it? It's not because
That
of
one
learning
is
I may not be
that one
exact.
is much more on wrong knowledge. We are talking about deeper wrong view will be those wrong view with karma, vipassana, enlightenment, path and fruition, personality belief. There is a higher wrong view.
But
Okay.
if you look at the Sotapan is the Sakaya Ditti, that Sakaya Ditti itself,
Yeah.
it's not necessarily the I. He has yet to reach
No.
that
That is
level.
I. That is definitely to do with I. That's why
It's the
this
self.
Sakaya Ditti is not easy to eradicate because only at the enlightenment stage one can eradicate the wrong view. Okay. So from formation, you can see like many things like greed, hatred, maybe not delusion, will be maybe you got mindfulness or you got joy and so on. So it's actually this one easy to meditate. Right. Now consciousness got 89 1-1, but of course we are not going to meditate on 89. So we can see which one that we can see. So we go back to consciousness, right? So I already show you this book in your Abhidhamma in the classroom. So you all should start to read yourself. Okay. So we have 89 1-1, but only few, not say all. Okay. Greed. When the mind is greed, you can see the greed rooted. When the mind is hatred, you can see the hatred rooted. So when the mind is having doubts or delusion, then you have the delusion rooted. So this one you can see. And this one is to unwholesome resultant is in future you learn is to do when your eye see the unwholesome thing. So we call it the resultant of unwholesome eye consciousness. Okay. And when your eye see a good thing, so for example, flower and so on, that is your wholesome resultant. So when you are doing good things, you have the sense feel wholesome. Right. When you get the jhana, you got the fine material. So when you get the immaterial jhana, you get the immaterial jhana. Right. This means that out of the 89, you will not get all. If you don't have jhana, then you don't have fine material. So if you don't have the arupa immaterial jhana, you don't have the immaterial sphere. So you don't have 15 and 12. But most likely you will get this 12 akusala, unwholesome, and then some of the 18, and then the 24. Maybe out of 24, maybe you get about 8 and 8. And then supramundane is only when you have the supramundane, like the path and fruition, right? So we don't get all, but what we have can practice is the possible type of mind. So if your mind have, we call it greedy mind, okay? Hatred mind, right? Maybe wholesome mind, okay? Maybe with faith and so on. And then when you see the eye consciousness, all right, ear consciousness and so on. So you can practice all this. So all these are possible. So in Vipassana, especially the Satipatthana, whatever kind of mind that arise, you should not add this as they are. Try to see the impermanence, right? Okay, so that's why when we say Vipassana meditation takes Abhidhamma as its sole object of contemplation. So you need to know some Abhidhamma because it's the object for Vipassana, right? And knowledge of Abhidhamma can lead to more clearness in Vipassana practice. Okay, right. So if no question, I'll continue some more, right? So this is on perception and formation, all right? Okay, now formation aggregate, we have 50 of them, but here is very general terms. Okay, somebody read 131. Doris Chi, you can read 131.
Yes, Sayagyi.
Okay.
Now, it was said above, whatever has the characteristic of forming should be understood all taken together as the formations aggregate. And here too, what is said to have the characteristic of forming is that which has the characteristic of agglomerating. What is that? It is formations themselves, according as it is said. They form the formed because that is why they are called formations. They have the characteristic of forming. The function is to accumulate. They are manifested as intervening. The approximate cause is the remaining three immaterial aggregates. So according to characteristic, etc., they are single-fold. And according to kind, they are threefold, namely profitable, unprofitable, and intermediate. As regards these, when associated with profitable consciousness, they are profitable. When associated with unprofitable consciousness, they are unprofitable. When associated with indeterminate consciousness, they are indeterminate.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Sayaji.
So it's like after reading, do you know or do you don't know? It look
I
like
don't
very
know. I
technical
don't know.
terms.
Yes, very
Yeah.
technical.
Yeah, it's just all this actually translated from Pali. So it's just trying to tell you that what is formation aggregate means that it has the characteristic of forming. That's all. And then what this agglomerating means that adding together. But it doesn't help us in terms of vipassana. What it trying to say that things are just formed together, but when we look at them, they are actually not formed together. There are 50 of them separate. Okay. But I think the best one we want to see here is the approximate cost. Okay. The approximate cost is remaining three immaterial aggregates. Three immaterial aggregates.
Immaterial.
Yeah. Okay. What is three of them?
What?
All right. So you have lupa is one. So this is four. Okay. So all these are okay. 2, 3, 4, 5 is immaterial. Immaterial means nama. Okay. So out of these four, only you take out the formation itself. So the feeling, perception, consciousness will be the remaining three immaterial.
Oh, I see.
That's what means that out of these four immaterial, you minus the
Immaterial.
formation. So you only get feeling, perception, consciousness.
Consciousness.
Okay, so just
Thank-
minus the formation, you get feeling,
Formation.
perception, consciousness. That's what you're trying to tell us.
Okay. Thank you, Sayaji.
Because
Thank you.
5 aggregates arise together. All right. So when the nama arise together, so if we take out the formation, then the remaining of the nama, this immaterial, there will be the approximate cause. That's what I'm trying to tell us only in a very difficult English. All right.
Thank you, Sayaji.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So all this is the Cetasika. Okay. Now, another way to learn is when you are interested, for example, you are interested in the topic of, like just now Brother Ko said, the context is obvious to him. So when you want to know context, then you come to chapters like this and read only in context. All right, Brother Ko, you can read this one. Brother Ko, 1, 3, 4.
1, 3, 4. Here in
Yeah.
1, it touches Pusati. Thus, it is contact pasa. This has the characteristics of touching. Its function is the act of impingement. It is manifested as concurrence. Its proximate cause is an objective field that has come into focus.
Okay. Now you read this text. Sorry, let me make some more. Okay, can you just tell it in your own simple English? Okay. What do you think it should? It meant characteristic of touching. All right, you answer the touching, right? Okay.
Touching is that means the
touching who?
the object,
what touching what?
The
What is
object,
touching what?
the object and the mind and the base come into contact.
Okay. So
That
the
is
sense
touch.
base and sense object touch
Yes.
together, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. How about the function?
The function is the fact that the what you call the verb, the contact as a verb.
Yeah.
The contact as a verb. That means they really they actually knock onto each other.
They're not to each other. Okay, yeah,
Ah.
that's good. Yeah, the impingement, it just means they're knocking into each other.
Because
Right.
function normally is a verb. That means the
Okay.
action of it. So if you put it as a
Yeah.
verb, then it's an action.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an action, right? And manifested as concurrence. Concurrence. What's the meaning of concurrence?
It go together, togetherness.
Togetherness. Okay. And then the approximate cause is?
That means there must be an object, no?
Okay, yeah. Okay, so you notice the English here are difficult. Sometimes that's why you can read from this book, but sometimes you can look for any other Abhidhamma books. Look for a teacher who can tell you in simple English. You know why all the English here are difficult? Because they translate directly from the Pali, right? Okay, so we copy the text just now, so we make it simple. So the first one is, all right. So characteristic is touching. So sense-based touches sense object, right? So function is action of what impingement, right? Not together, yeah. So manifestation happen together. Proximate means object appear. Okay, so sometimes when you read the Pali, actually because all these are translated from Pali, so when they translate to English, and the translator, their level of English is actually quite high level. So sometimes even their English also not easy to read. Okay, sometimes you read this one. So sometimes if you come to Abhidhamma, right? If you, for example, you go to Bhikkhu Bodhi book under the mental factors, he also describe the context. Okay, feeling, right? Context. For example, you can see this one also in this book, it also has this, but actually it's also not easy to understand the English. Okay, so sometimes when it's not easy to understand, you look for another Abhidhamma book, right? The easiest one will be this Fundamental of Abhidhamma. The English is easy. So 37. Okay, but sometimes this one is too easy. Okay, it just write pasa contact, that's all. Right. Okay. So in this case, if this book is too easy, then you still have other book for you to. You can go for what daily life, Abhidhamma and daily life. Then you get more information step by step. Okay. So that's how we learn. Don't just start with one book. There are many books you can read. Or if you be able to read the Pali, and then you read the Pali together with the English translation, and then you understand, because all these are translated from the Pali itself. Okay, so characteristic, sense base and sense object touches together. So for example, you can say the eye sensitivity, which is the retina. Okay, maybe visible object. Okay, touches. But actually the visible object is not, it's the reflection, right? So because the object, when we see outside, it never comes to our eye. It's just the reflection of it. We saw a visible object touches the eye sensitivity. All right. Then like this. Sometimes when you write things and then you put more example, like this, we call it, for example, okay. Then it's clear. That's how we contemplate the Dhamma, all right? Not just stop at the Abhidhamma, but we go and use a simple English until we be able to understand the meaning ourselves. Okay, that's how we learn about the formation. Yeah. Okay, that's how today's discussion will be talking about Vipassana and Abhidhamma, and then do we need to know all the Abhidhamma facts? But minimally, we need to know about Nama Lopa and 5 aggregates. When you learn about 5 aggregates, you need to know at least some of them because it's impossible to contemplate all of them at one go. All right, 28. And then the feeling, formation, consciousness. And minimally, you need the material being changed, feeling being felt, perception means perceiving, or like Brother Ong said, formation, and cognizing means knowing. So aggregate of consciousness, it means knowing. Okay. Now we go back to the book just now. Right. So all these are Abhidhamma points. So we just skip it. Okay. I think this part is interesting already because this part, it has put some information from many suttas. This Bhajaniya, Bhajaniya means according to the classification or maybe explanation from the suttas. And then from the Vibhanga, all right. So somebody read this one, 185. Okay, Lily, Brother Lee, yeah.
Okay. The foregoing section firstly is that of the detailed explanation of the aggregates according to the Abhidhamma-Bhajaniya, but of the Vibhanga, but the aggregates have been given in detail by the Blessed One in the Sutana Bhajaniya in this way. Any materiality whatever, whether past, future, or present, internal or external, gross or subtle, inferior or superior, far or near, all that together in the mass and in the gross is called the materiality aggregate. Any feeling whatever, any perception whatever, any formations whatever, any consciousness whatever, whether past, future, or present, all that together in the mass and in the gross is called the consciousness aggregate.
Okay, thank you. All right, so according to Sutta here, so you can see this one is we call it past, future. This whatever materials or any of the 5 aggregates, any of the aggregate, this talking the time, 3 times past, future, present, whether it's inside us or outside us. Whether gross here means that it's easy to see or subtle, not easy to see, whether belong to a like good lupa or bad lupa, inferior or superior. Okay. And then the far or near. Okay. Far or near. So how many ways? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So this is called 11 way. When you recite the Anatta Lakkhana Sutta, we have 11 way. So if you calculate this past, future, present, internal, external, gross, subtle, inferior, superior, far and near, all these are 11 ways. You should see all these, all right? Any of this, that's why we should take it as our object, not only in ourselves, but also others. Okay, now it is try to explain about past, present, future. Okay. All right. So this is actually, you can practice also. Yeah. 187. All right. Somebody read 187. Yeah. Quite more. You can try. 187, 188. 189 also.
Okay, 187. Herein, firstly, according to the extent, in the case of a single becoming of one living being, previous to rebirth linking is past. Subsequently to death is future. Between these two is present. 188, according to continuity, that materiality which has like or single origination by temperature and single origination by nutrition, though it occurs successively, is present. That which previous to that was of unlike origination by temperature and nutrition is past. That which is subsequent is future. That which is born of consciousness and has its origination in one cognitive series in one impulsion, in one attainment is present. Previous to that is past. Subsequent to that is future. There is no special classification into past, continuity, etc. of that which has its origination in karma, but it is pastness, etc. should be understood and accordingly as it support those which have their origination through temperature, nutriments, and consciousness. According to period, any period among those such as 1 minute, morning, evening, day and night, etc., that occur as a continuity is called present. Previous to that is past. Subsequent is future.
Okay, thank you. All right,
Okay.
thank you. It's okay. It's okay. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thanks.
All right, thank you. All right, so here is the first one, 187 is talking about this life and past life. All right, this is the first one. The second one is more talking about the cause, because here you have the new temperature, nutriment. You will learn in Abhidhamma. So the rupa is this is actually conditioned by the temperature, nutriment, and so on. So whatever, sometimes it's past, sometimes it's future, right? So we just keep it. So now this is also things period can divide into minute, morning, evening, day, and night. So now occurring now is present, okay? Previous to that is past, subsequent is future. This means that we don't think everything is to do with past life. Any 1 second past is considered as past. Any 1 minute past is considered past. The future 1 minute will be future, like this. So moment. This is talking about the arising, passing away, arising, present, distortion in one rupa or one chitta. So it's a very small time. Okay. So anyway, this is to do with Abhidhamma, but what you need to know is the timing can be as long as 1 day or 1 night, or can be as short as 1 minute, or can be as short as 1 moment. So we call it like chitta khana, or this one consciousness moment. Okay. So this is talking about here, trying to see about impermanence. Okay, then it describe what is meaning of inferior, superior, what is far and near, and so on. Okay, I think this one we can just skip. Okay, this one will be interesting. Order, as to order. Right. I think we read this one. This one will be more better. Why does the Buddha teach in that way? Order of teaching. Let us see. Ming Se, you can read this one. Yeah.
213 only, 213,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. 213.
Order
Yes.
of teaching is appropriate. However, for there are those people who, while teachable, have fallen into assuming a self among the 5 aggregates owing to failure to analyze them. And the Blessed One is desirous of releasing them from the assumption by getting them to see how the seeming compactness of mass in the 5 aggregates is resolved. And being desirous of their welfare, he first, for the purpose of their easy apprehension, taught the materiality aggregate, which is gross, being the objective feel of the eye, etc. And after that, feeling, which feels matter as desirable and undesirable, and then perception, which apprehends the aspects of feelings, objective feel. Since what one feels that one perceives, then formations which form which forms volitionally through the means of perception, and lastly, consciousness, which these things beginning with feeling have as their support and which dominates them. This in the first place is how the exposition should be known as to order.
Okay, so here is explaining why the Buddha teach the reason, because people assume there's a self among the 5 aggregates because they failure to analyze it. So the Buddha want them to release from this false assumption. So try to see, instead of compactness means that we take the 5 aggregate as one thing. So that's why he described one by one for us to break them into each of the 5 aggregates. So which one did he teach first? He teach the first one is materiality, because materiality rupa is gross, because you can see your own body, right? And then you can see with your own eyes, okay, with your own eyes. And after that, he teach about feeling. Then after that, perception and formation, and then the last consciousness. So the first one he teach actually is the materiality, because it's gross, easy to see. So this one will be easy in terms of we want to know why the purpose of the Buddha teach the 5 aggregates is for us to let go the concept of self. Okay. So I just copy. Sometimes if you have the text like this, so you just copy it, and so because people assuming that self. So Buddha want to release from the self. So the first one, and reduce the compactness. So we call it compactness. So he teach the materialities first. Then you got feeling. Then you got perception. Then formation. And then consciousness. So the purpose is reduce the idea of self. So this is called the order of teaching. Start with the materiality, feeling, perception, formation, and consciousness. Okay. This distinction on. Okay. Now, 216 is also important. Okay, somebody read. Pui Liu, you can read this one. 216, yeah.
216 is to neither less or more. But why are 5 aggregates neither less nor more mentioned by the Blessed One? A, because all formed things that resemble each other fall into these groups. B, because that is the widest limit as the basis for the assumption of self and what pertains to self. And C, because of the inclusion by them of the other sorts of aggregates.
Okay, do you understand? No, it's you. Okay. Sometimes it's really because translate direct from the Pali. Okay, so we just copy and try to understand in our simple English. Okay, now the question as to neither less and more. So now the question is, if people say why there is only 5 aggregates, not 4 or not 6 or not 8 or not 10. So that's the first question. Why there is only 5 aggregates mentioned by the West one? Now the question is the first one, because all form things are that resemble each other fall within this group. So, okay, somebody, do you understand this sentence? Brother Ong, you can try.
Trying to figure out.
Okay. So that's a reason number A, okay? What's the meaning of this one? Okay, A.
Because all one each other from the
Form things is talking about sankhara, okay? Formation. So all forms that resemble each other fall into this group. Okay, who got the analytical mind beside the Brother Cole? Yeah, Brother Cole, you can try.
I think here it's not about Sankara. I think it's all form things, all conditioned things, I think, because it's about 5 aggregates.
Yeah, but I think it coming
Conditioned
from the word
things.
sankara. Yeah, condition or sankara is same thing because coming from Pali word formed. Yeah, but okay, just what's the meaning of resemble each other?
That means because here it's not so much, they will fall into these 5 groups. So
Okay, they will not fall.
all
So
these
means that
condition things that happen can
okay.
be classified into these 5 groups.
Okay, so the formation can be categorized, okay?
Yes,
Categorized
categorized.
into only these 5 groups, all right?
Yes,
There's
5
a try.
aggregate groups.
5 aggregates, okay? 5 group of 5 aggregates, all right? Okay, yeah. Okay, number 2. Because that is the widest limit as the basis for assumption of self and what is pertains to self. Widest limit means that the maximum, okay? The maximum group for the grasping assumption or grasping of self. Means that if somebody grasps the self, maximum is only this 5. Assumption, grasping, or what pertains to self. Okay, number C. C, I think is the meaning of C. Yeah. Inclusion by them of the other sorts of aggregates. This sometimes I have to think about inclusion of them by other sort of aggregates. So it means the other aggregates. Other aggregates include them. Something like that. Okay. So other include them. Something like that. Right? Yeah. So unless we check the Pali, if either we do this, if we don't understand, we have to check the original Pali. So it's not easy to find the Pali, you know. The Pali is somewhere. Visuddhimagga Pali is one of the very difficult one to read also. It is actually quite a challenge for me to read also.
Maybe as I understand C here, it's something like if should you have any other things, it can still be classified within these 5.
Okay, what is other things that? Okay,
I
so
don't know,
let's
but I presume that there may be other things, because what the Buddha is analyzing is about the misconception about a being. A being, that means we believe that this human being is something solid, something unchangeable, or anything that we can be classified in that category.
Okay, this one, I think this the text just now. Sometimes it's actually, if we don't know the answer, we can find the Pali, but the Pali is not easy to read. Now, okay, you can see just now Sankara Khanda is this one. Maybe there's another one. Oh, let me copy it. Just it seems like the just now. This one is direct translation from the Pali, but the meaning will be like this. Okay, other aggregates also include them. Then that's the meaning. It's talking about each aggregate with another aggregate. They include each other. Okay. Anyway, I think the best answer we still want is the formation can be all form thing. All form means all sankhara. Okay, all sankhara. Sankhara, all sankhara means all the condition things. Same thing can be categorized into 5 aggregates. 5 group of 5 aggregates, right? So this means that if you have something, let's say if you are talking about if you have some emotion, for example, if you have joy, then the joy will be under the Sankara Khanda. So if you have maybe if you have different types of mind, so your mind will be under the consciousness aggregate, right? So this means that everything will fall into this 5 only. Okay. Okay, I think we just read. Okay, I think this explain again. Okay, let's look at this example. This one is interesting to read, and then it's similarly you can find in some of the Samyutta, and then this one is Abhidhamma book, Dhamma Sangani, right? So, all right, Shinlin, you can read this one. 220, yeah.
Okay.
As to simile, the materiality aggregate as object of clinging is like a sick room because it is the dwelling place as physical basis, door, and object of the sick man, namely the consciousness aggregate as object of clinging. The feeling aggregate as object of clinging is like the sickness because it afflicts. The perception aggregate as object of clinging is like the provocation of the sickness because it gives rise to feeling associated with greed, etc., owing to perception of sense desires, and so on. The formations aggregate as object of clinging is like having recourse to what is unsuitable because it is the source of feeling, which is the sickness. For it is said, feeling as feeling is the form that they form. And likewise, because of unprofitable karma having been performed and stored up, resultant body consciousness has arisen, accompanied by pain. The consciousness aggregate as object of clinging is like the sick man because it is never free from feeling, which is the sickness.
Please read 221. Yeah.
Okay. Also, they are respectively like the prison, the punishment, the offense, the punisher, and the offender. And they are like the dish, the food, the curry sauce poured over the food, the server, and the eater.
Okay. All right. Okay. This is just a simile, but I think you all should be able to understand. Okay. So the lupa material is prison. The feeling is punishment. And then the perception will be for offense. Punisher will be the formation. Offender will be the consciousness. It try to compare the simile with the 5 aggregates. Right. Maybe this one. Dish is the lupa. Food, when you eat the food, food is the feeling. Curry sauce is the perception, the color maybe. Server is formation. Eater will be the consciousness. So you're trying to match this one. But this one, 220 should be easier to read. Okay, so, okay. So you can see these 5 aggregates, it actually mentioned many times in the sutta. Okay, as an object of clinging, seen as an enemy with the drawn sword, in the snake simile, as a burden, in the burden sutta, right? And some of the sutta here. And also, if you want to, there's another one, okay? The matter is a lump of frog. Feeling is a bubble on water. Perception is mirage because it causes illusion. Formation is a plankton trunk because they have no core. So this one actually better. This simile is actually better because you can see this is actually direct from the sutta. So I'll copy this one. Okay. Okay. Matter, feeling, perception. All right. This one actually very interesting. How our perception will cause, it causes illusion. So when you see something, you see a flower. Okay. Our illusion, like the flower is very beautiful, but actually flower is only transient. Okay. That's how we see. Formation, there are 50 of them, but they had no core because it's made of individual part. It's like the plankton, this called like banana, banana tree look like very hard and solid, but inside banana is actually made of layer and layer and layer. So it's very soft. To cut off a banana tree is very easy. Consciousness is like as a conjuring trick because it deceives. Okay, this one is good. Yeah. Sorry, where you go now? Okay, where are we? All right, I think there's only remaining left. So okay, so and then I think next week we'll go for the basis already. Basis means the 6 sense basis and then the 6 sense object. I think that one also very good as a vipassana practice. Okay, now can we invite one of you to do the sharing of merits? All right, so who is good in chanting? Subang, are you able to read us sharing of merits? Or Puelu? Maybe both of you. Yeah.
The sharing of merit.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Just a simple one.
Yeah. Turn on your video, please. Yeah.
for the
Yeah.
merit and accrued during this lesson by Sayaji, we would like to share the merit that we have accrued to our departed ones.
Okay.
Akasata Jabumata Deva Naga Mahitika Punyantang Anumoditwa Hiranrakan Lokasasanang Akasata Jabumata Deva Naga Mahitika Punyantang Anumoditwa Hiranrakan Lokasasanang Akasata Jabumata Devanaga Mahidika Punyang Sang Admoditwa Hiranrakan Simamparanti. Kita recite together the Idang Me
Yatina Hotu Sugita Hontu
Sayu Idang Me Nyatinang Hutu Sukita Hontunya Sayu Idang Me Nyatinang Hutu Sukita Hontunya Sayu Sadhu Sadhu Sadhu.
Okay, Happy New Year to you all. All right. So next week, no class. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank
Thank
you.
you, Sayaji. Happy
Thank
New Year to
you.
you
Happy
too.
New
Bye.
Year.